this Equifax breach hack is at least a category 4, if not category 5 cyber hack. 143 million Americans, you take out folks who don't have credit histories, younger people, you're talking about 60 to 70% of Americans potentially had their most personal information hacked into, number one. Number two, as you pointed out, this was a fairly easily hackable system. It was a low-end security violation. And frankly, not only does it appear Equifax was not on guard on the front end, but my understanding is the recovery site has got known vulnerabilities in it, as well as the fact that it's being very slow in terms of being responsive, and that many consumers are not able to even access their information.
And Senator, if you put in the 6 last digits of your Social Security number and request, I think it's that free 1 year of credit monitoring, Elizabeth Warren, your colleague in the Senate, and others have said that it bans you from participating in a class action lawsuit. So in order to get the 1 year of protection because of maybe the failure on some part of their systems, you are now barred from entering into a class action lawsuit to get the company. Company's website calls it a, quote, cybersecurity incident. What do you make of Equifax's response?
What I make of Equifax's response is that this is why all of us as consumers, and I say this is a guy that was in business longer than in politics, got to read the fine print. This was one of those hidden arbitration clauses that actually the CFPB was looking at, but this administration has been trying to cut back on that. And I think this is the kind of abuse that we need to be concerned about. I also think, on a going forward basis, I think there are questions about liability, but before we get there, I mean, I got to look back at me and my colleagues. For 3 years, I've been trying to get a national data breach standard in place. We've got 49 different data breach laws around the country. We need a single standard that doesn't
What does that mean exactly, Senator, if you had a standardized data breach law?
What would it mean would be there would be standards around transparency. There would be standards in terms of consumer notification.
How about standards in terms of protecting the information in the first place?
Well, it would also try to elevate those standards in terms of protecting the information in the first place, because what happens oftentimes, and I'm the chair of the Cyber Caucus, I'm on the Intel Committee, I'm pretty knee-deep in this stuff, is that you have oftentimes, this case is not so much because we know pretty much where the vulnerability was and where the breach took place, but oftentimes you might have an entity versus the telcos versus the financial institutions, all in effect pointing at each other about who's responsible for reporting, who's responsible for notifying consumers, and you've got a total quilt work with 49 different state laws all conflicting with each other. A national standard would bring about at least some, I think, better transparency. It's not going to fix, though, the ultimate challenge here, that we've got to, all of us as individuals and as companies have got to beef up their cybersecurity standards. And the fact that Equifax is used, as you mentioned, data is the new oil, a company that prided itself or sold its services as a way to protect your information, they were very, very sloppy in their cyber protections.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.